We are no longer dating emotionally unavailable men. They are not actually ready to prioritize the relationship over their own needs. When someone is emotionally unavailable, their communication will reflect that. There's a challenge for you. Take away the sex. You will realize there's nothing in this for you. You're getting nothing from this man. Try and correct a fragile man. It's going to be dangerous. He can't handle it, so he's going to run away. Unless he's been healed or he's taken time to heal, the next woman will deal with that baggage, no matter how different that new woman is to his ex. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. So it's been a while since I sat down and spoke directly to you guys, but since then a lot has happened. I bought a dream car. I have just come back from vacation. I went through a mini breakup, went through depression, reached 700k on YouTube, got laser eye surgery as well. Praise God, because life comes at you fast. But as you can tell now, I'm a lot better and I am thriving again. And I think we have to understand that life is not always up, 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 up. Like sometimes you be up, down, up, down, up, down. I think the quicker we understand that life is not peaches and cream, the better we will feel about ourselves, okay? So I'm just here to share it with you guys that your girl's been going through it too. But in the midst of that, there's been light shining. I thank God for bringing me through this season. Hence the title. This is a PSA. We are no longer dating emotionally unavailable men. We're just not doing it anymore. It's too much. Just the FYI, I'm aware that my boobs are sitting up for once. I have not had any surgery just yet, so don't be alarmed, but just enjoy. No, don't enjoy. This video is not about my boobs, okay? Also, I will be sharing probably in the next week or two about my physical transformation, how I've lost so much weight. You guys have been hunting me down and I finally found time to collect the video and make the video make a lot more sense, and so I can share it with you guys. But that's not what you guys came for. You guys came to hear about why that guy you're dating needs to get the hell out because he's doing too much or he's not doing enough. Obviously, at the beginning of the video, I spoke about I'll call it a mini breakup, mini heartbreak. And that was at the hands of a emotionally unavailable man. And it wasn't that bad. I'm not trying to jazz it up and make it seem worse than it is. But I think I dodged a huge bullet. And I thank God because he genuinely loves me and he always protects me. I don't feel any shame saying this because it shows that I'm actually out there dating, like in the game. Not anymore, but that's besides the point. But I was out there in the game, in the trenches with you guys, and I am happy to report back. It is still the ghetto, the ghetto, the ghetto. But anyway, on a serious note, we are no longer dating emotionally unavailable men. What is an emotionally unavailable man? An emotionally unavailable man is a man that does not have the capacity to give you what you need.
So we don't have the capacity.
And I think when we women talk about what we want and what we desire, men or people tend to think that we are talking about materialistic, shallow things. No, emotionally unavailable men aren't able to give you their time. They're not able to give you their emotions. They're not able to give you themselves. And so you're always coming up against a barrier. When you're open and you're trying to get close to them, they're moving away. So just to clear that up, an emotional available man is a man that cannot give you what you need. To contrast that, I want to quickly describe what an emotionally available person is. An emotionally available person has the ability to sustain emotional bonds in relationships. So since it's pretty impossible to have a healthy relationship without an emotional connection, emotionally unavailable people tend to find relationships very challenging. Instead, they may prefer to date casually and maintain distance. So if you ever date with a man that is emotionally unavailable, he is someone that is distant. When you're with them, you may have their time and their full attention, but when they're away from you, it's difficult to sustain the bond to them. So emotionally unavailable men cannot give you what you want and need in a healthy relationship because they don't have it to give. Bottom line, they do not have it to give you. And a lot of these emotionally unavailable men have experienced some form of past trauma. When we talk about trauma, we're not only just talking about childhood, but we're talking about past relationships. One thing I know that when a man has been hurt and burned, unless he's been healed or he's taken time to heal, the next woman will deal with that baggage, no matter how different that new woman is to his ex. If he has not taken time to deal with the emotional baggage, that pain and that hurt and that heartbreak, they're gonna bring it into a new situation. And one thing I know about men is that they can't handle heartbreak like we do. Us women, we're very resilient, okay? We can get our heart broken 10 times and we'll pop back up like, okay, I've done my healing. I'm ready to get my head back in the game. Like, we're ready to get started again, right? We're able to endure multiple heartbreaks, and that just shows our strength and our power as women. I'm not saying that's acceptable, but I'm saying that we are resilient. You break a man's heart once, he turns into the biggest savage you have met in your life. So whether it's past trauma or past baggage, these men are so guarded with their feelings and their emotions, they don't want to give themselves to you. So that makes them unavailable, okay? For instance, you go to a bathroom, right? On the door, maybe it's a bit old school. On the door, it will have unavailable or available, or it may have the green or blue tab, which shows that it's either available or unavailable, right? So the bathroom is there, but you can't access it. You can't get in there because it is unavailable, right? Similar to a man, he's there, but he's unusable in that sense. Not that we're trying to use them. We can't get what we need from them because they're not here. They're there, but they're not there. They're not free. My sleeves are free, like they're free, right? A free person, a secure person is able to flow in life and flow through life. Yes, you met this person, they weren't the right person for you, but you're gonna heal and not carry that baggage along with you. So you're free to meet new people, you're free to give of yourself, you're free to, receive, you're just free. Emotionally unavailable men are not free. And why this is so important is emotional availability is needed in order to feel safe in a relationship. That person needs to be trustworthy, and you build trust, for instance, by a person keeping their word, showing up. And one thing an emotionally unavailable man isn't going to do is keep his promises, keep his word. There's always going to be some form of excuse. You want someone that is loyal and dependable. Being able to depend on someone builds trust. I always use this analogy. If every time I sat on this chair, it collapsed, I cannot depend on that chair is not trustworthy. However, if every time I sat on this chair, safe, I'm good, I feel safe. So I'm going to talk about some of the signs that the person that you're dealing with is emotionally unavailable. And one of the big ones is they make a lot of excuses for spending time. When I talk about spending time, I'm talking about basic time. In my head, it just popped into my head about long distance relationships, but I'll get to that. Spending time with someone could be once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whenever you're available, okay? Of course, we all need our own alone time, but if someone genuinely is available and into you, they're going to want to spend time with you, okay? And maybe when you go out the first time, they're already planning the second time because they enjoy your company, they want to be around you, they're emotionally available to you. Those who are in long distance relationships, the same thing applies. And the thing about long distance relationships, what's going to make it work is communication. You need to communicate more in a long distance relationship than those who actually live within an hour from each other. If you're in a long distance relationship and that person is not prioritizing phone calls with you, FaceTimes with you, right? If they are not prioritizing this, they are not available emotionally to you. It means their heart is somewhere else. And their heart may be with their job, with their business, with their kids, with stress, with their ex-wife, with trauma. And all these things become excuses that they use for why they can't see you, why they can't make themselves available to you. So an emotionally unavailable man is going to make a ton of excuses, and it's going to become so frustrating because I feel like, I'm not going to speak for women, but I'll speak for myself. If I like you, if I want you, I could be in flipping New Jersey, right? I'm making time for you. You tell me, babe, I've got this family gathering. If I've finished my work in New Jersey and I can make time, I'm flying back here to spend time with you and your family. What do you mean? If I'm sitting here and I've got a video to film, after I film that video, I'm picking up the phone and I'm like, hey babe, just checking in, hope you're well. You make time for what's important to you. An emotionally unavailable man is gonna make a ton of excuses and they're all gonna sound legit. And if you guys listen to my last video I made beginning of the year, last year, I was talking about stop giving men the benefit of the doubt. Understandably, I feel like you guys are very understanding. I think women are generally understanding, especially when our heart is involved with someone. We can understand that you have kids. We can understand that you have a busy job. We can understand that you may be stressed out. This is one way that you can tell that a man is emotionally unavailable. When he is stressed, instead of running to you, he runs away from you, right? Men talk about be my peace, be my peace, be my peace. I could be offering you a safe place of peace, but when you're emotionally unavailable and you're conflicted inside, you're gonna wanna run away because you're gonna see me as another burden. Listen to this very, very clearly, because this is why I don't buy the whole be his peace BS, right? Because I could be a safe place for you, but just because I'm a safe place for you doesn't mean I'm not going to express my feelings to you if you've done something wrong. Let's say, for instance, you come to my place and we're spending time and you've done something that I feel like is bloody annoying or rude, or you said something that is rude. I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna be like, I don't like what you just said and I don't respect that. Can you not do that? And you're gonna be like,
oh, I've come here to get peace. I've come here to receive peace and you're stressing me out.
Why? Because I have expressed to you how you've made me feel. Now I'm not being your peace. That is BS. And the men that are emotionally unavailable will use that excuse and turn anything that you tell them back onto you. Because they can't handle it. They're so emotionally conflicted that they can't handle anything else. So what you have to do is sit there, close your mouth, bite your tongue in the name of being his peace. No, thank you. Go and find your peace and bring it back with you next time. Thank you. Another sign that a man that you are dating or with is emotionally unavailable is that he is a taker. It's generally all about him when you really think about it. And what happens is it causes you then to shut off your needs, your feelings, your emotions, and therefore make it all about him. You may just be there to be the help for him, to be the listening ear for him to complain about his exes and his past trauma and his issues. And I'm not making light of trauma, we all have it. But I want you to know your trauma is your responsibility. His trauma is his responsibility. You are not his therapist. You are not there to heal him. No matter how flattering it may seem in the beginning for someone to be taking your advice, to be listening to you, for you to be helping in a sense. But the only problem with that is when you're constantly making deposits, the moment you come to withdraw something, it's like, no, they get so spoiled by your help that by the time it's time for you to take a withdrawal, they're like, no, mine. They're like babies, like, no, mine. And when someone is depleted, all they can do is take and take and take and take. They are not actually ready to prioritize the relationship over their own needs. So you're thinking about them and they're thinking about themselves. And this is how divides happen. And women tend to do it a lot, put their men's needs over themselves. So you're thinking about him and he's thinking about him. Who's thinking about you? Another sign that a man is emotionally unavailable is that he sees you on his terms. Think about it. I want you guys to think about it. If you're dating someone that is emotionally unavailable, think about any time that person has done anything for you that wasn't mutually beneficial for him as well. He sees you when it's convenient for him. He never makes sacrifices. A sacrifice looks like this, for instance. I'm not saying he has to do this all the time, but I haven't seen you in a week. Or let's say it's a Thursday night and he wants to go to the gym. After he goes to work, goes to the gym, goes home, eats, sleeps. That's his day, right? If he was available to you and he was prioritizing you and he was making sure the relationship was mutual, he would be like, okay, babe, I know I haven't seen you all week and I genuinely miss you. I'm not gonna go gym tonight. I'm gonna come and see you. Go gym tomorrow. Or the next day. Or the next day. Or the next day. Sacrifice. Let's say you're not feeling well. A sacrifice will be him. Yeah, he's tied up. Maybe he has his kids for the weekend. He can bring you some soup. He can check in on you and see if you're okay. He can call you. There's no sacrifice, there's no relationship. If everything's only on his terms, when it's convenient for him, my friend, you are in a relationship with yourself. Even let's say you're dating him and he does choose to see you, right? He wants to come around your house and you're cooking for him. You're still doing something for him. Like, it's beneficial for him to see you because you're making him food. He does not have to cook. You are making it way too easy for him. And you keep on going along with seeing him on his terms. It makes it very difficult for you to change that dynamic. Because you're like, he's like, oh, I'm free today. Do you want to go here? And you're like, yes, because you genuinely want to see him because he's deprived you of his attention. He's deprived you of himself. So you genuinely do want to see him. So it's like, he's like, oh, I've got some time. Do you want to go here? And you're like, yes, because he's been feeding you breadcrumbs. At the moment you get a little breadcrumb, you're like, yes, I want to see you. Yes.
Spend time with me. Yes. Please.
Another sign that you're dating someone that is emotionally unavailable, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, and probably when I woke up to the fact that this person is not available, is when you need something, when you need him, like when you need his emotional support and he's nowhere to be found. So you've made a deposit, you've helped, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this. And the one time you need him, maybe the one time you're sick, the one time you really, really need him, you broke down, your car broke down, you've got a leak, you need help with something, the man is nowhere to be found. And the moment you react, right? The moment you react, he has ammunition to say, you're overreacting, you're crazy, what do you want from me? That's why whenever a person told me about their crazy ex, I'm like, what did you do? Women don't just, except for 1%, women don't just become crazy. Y'all make us crazy. We come out of you, right? Eve came out of Adam. We are part of you. If we're crazy, it's because you made us crazy. And you are going to feel crazy being in a relationship, being in a situation with a man that is emotionally unavailable to you. It's going to feel like pulling teeth. But like I was saying, you will really see who you're dealing with when it's time for him to be there for you. When he needs help, he knows that you're available to him. You'll give him the help. But when it's time for you, I need help. Where's Wally? Where are ya? Where are ya? Another sign of an emotionally unavailable man is he projects a lot. All of his insecurities will be projected on you. So take note of what this man is saying because he's only telling you about himself. So this man will never be able to validate your feelings. If you bring him a situation, he will, it's like a boomerang. It's coming right back at you. That man cannot validate how you feel because he doesn't feel anything. When you are emotionally unavailable, you are numb. You're a shell of a person. And it is so difficult. It's like being in a relationship with a corpse, a walking corpse. He's dead inside. And no amount of you speaking life, pulling him up, inspiring him is going to raise that dead man back to life. There's nothing you can do to satisfy the emptiness of an emotionally unavailable man. You will drive yourself crazy doing it. Another sign that you are dealing with an emotionally unavailable man is that sex is the closest thing to intimacy. That's all you're going to get. And I don't know what it is, but women tend to feel like if a man is sleeping with me, it's an intimate thing. A man can have sex with you and not be intimate because intimacy is about being into me. I can see into you, you can see into me. And that's why it tends to be that women get emotionally attached during sex because for them, it's a form of intimacy. For him, it's just sex. So you may feel like you're getting a part of him, but he's not there because the moment he busts a nut, to be classy about it, busts a nut, he's shut down again. There's nothing here. And you may hold on to those 3 seconds of intimacy, like, oh, I got him. And it's like, ah. It's like trying to hold on to water. I got him. Ah. You guys don't get any funny you guys don't get any funny ideas in your mind. That wasn't meant to be graphic, but it's like holding on to water. It's like it just keeps on slipping through your fingers because an emotionally unavailable man is not available to himself. He cannot be available to you. He may create a full sense of intimacy during that act, but it's not real. Sometimes with the men that don't have emotion available, that don't have anything to give, sometimes they feel like sex is all they have to offer a woman. So they may be good at it, but that's all you're getting. That's the only thing that's good in a relationship. That's the only thing that's good in a relationship is the sex. That's not a relationship, hun. Here is a challenge for y'all. Y'all should not be having sex anyway. Anyway, here's a challenge for you. Take away the sex. You will realize there's nothing in this for you. You're getting nothing from this man. That's a scary thing. Some of you guys are holding on to the sex, holding on to a relationship because of the sex. Because you know that once that's gone, there is no intimacy. You two are strangers, but there's no divulging of hearts. And let's be clear, a man can appear to be giving you himself. So he may share some of his fears, he may share some of his past trauma, he may share what his exes done, he may share what his mother done, he may share that his father wasn't there. That's not intimacy, that's offloading. What do they call it? Trauma dumping. That's not intimacy. And that's sometimes we get deceived because we're like, oh, I already know this man. You don't know him.
To say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
You will know him when he starts to say, this is where I was wrong in my last relationship. God really had to open my eyes up and show me who I am. I learned this and this and this about myself. I learned that even though my father was not around, I can still be a man. That's connection. That's intimacy. That's transparency. That's honesty. A man dumping on you his past trauma is not emotional availability. Another sign is an emotionally unavailable man refuses to take accountability or any form of responsibility. He can't do it. It's too much for him to bear. Can't be wrong. Can't be any more wrong than he feels inside, right? That's why you can't correct someone like that, because they feel bad. They feel like you're beating them up when you correct them. Like, they're so fragile. And I say this with sympathy. They're so fragile that they can't handle anything. So a person that is strong, they can take responsibility. They can handle it. They're not going to fall apart because they're strong, right? But try and correct a fragile man. It's going to be dangerous. He can't handle it. So he's going to run away. He's going to ghost you. He's going to give you the silent treatment. He's going to put you on punishment because that weight that you try to give him of personal responsibility is too heavy for him. Another sign is that the relationship is imbalanced. When you really take a step back, you are doing all of the relationship work. Let that sit. You're doing all the calling, all the texting, all the planning, all the initiating. Here's an idea. Stop all of that shit. Cut it out. And you will see what the relationship really is made of. It would appear that you are way more invested in him, that the only reason the relationship looks like it's something is because you're making all the investments. Take all of your planning, all of your texting, all of your calling, take it back, ship it all the way back. And I know it's going to be so hard, especially if your heart is already with this person. See what he does with that. Because in that situation, if you're doing all of the relationship work, it's only going to leave you feeling one way, and that is frustrated. You're not supposed to carry the relationship. A relationship is a ship. It takes team efforts. Another sign is mixed signals. They're hot and they're cold, and that shows through communication. When someone is emotionally unavailable, their communication will reflect that. There will be times they reach out to talk to you and engage with you, and there will be times when they pull away and they're silent, or they may respond to your text message hours later, or they may see you calling and choose not to answer. We all get busy, but no one is ever too busy. Nobody is ever too busy. Cut the crap. When someone is emotionally unavailable, there will be a normalizing of this lack of communication. Like, it will be normal for them to be hot and cold and wishy-washy. Like, it's normal for them, because an emotionally unavailable person is so self-centered, they cannot see outside themselves. Emotionally unavailable men are not ready for relationships. They are not ready for relationships, and they won't be honest about it. They can barely look after themselves. And a lot of emotionally unavailable people have an attachment style that is anxious, avoidant, okay? I may do a separate video on attachment styles and really dig into it and give you real life examples. Because I realized, being with this person, that they were causing me to go back to my old style of attaching, which is anxious attachment. It really dawned on me that, no, I'm not an anxious attached person. That's not how I am in a relationship. But because you are avoiding me, your avoidance is making me feel anxious and making me feel rejected and scared. So I'm having to reach out to you, which looks like I'm stifling you. And if you stifle someone that is anxiously avoidant, they're gonna run further and further away. It dawned on me that I was behaving erratically because this person was not giving me any sense of emotional security. You say you're gonna call me, you don't call me. I call you, you tell me you're gonna call me back shortly. You don't call me back until 3 hours or the next day. What the? And I'm a person, I hang on to your word. If you say something, I'm expecting it. If you say you're gonna call me in 10 minutes, I'm gonna make myself available in 10 minutes. 10 minutes turns into an hour turns into 2 hours. Now you've wasted my time. Now I'm pissed. So another sign of an emotionally unavailable person is disappointment is a constant theme in your relationship. Not keeping their word, not keeping their commitment, showing up late, being blasé about it, cancelling plans last minute. The list goes on. And these are all ways to keep you at a distance. Because ultimately, they don't want you to see inside them. They don't want you to see that there's actually nothing in there. They don't want you to get too close to them and start asking the right questions for you to realize that there's actually nothing. The light's on, but nobody's home. Another sign is that you may feel sorry for them. And this is a result of them trauma dumping, right? And this is a sign that narcissists tend to use in the beginning, especially covert narcissists, right? Not the grandiose narcissists. Grandiose narcissists may love bomb you. They may take you on trips, buy you gifts, say they love you, be on your case 24/7 until they get you. A vulnerable or a covert narcissist may want to build a quick connection with you. So they'll tell you about everything that's happened in their life. They'll tell you about everything. They'll tell you about this and that and this and that, this and that. And what they want to do is bond you together emotionally, but it's not a real bond. It's a faux bond. So you feel like you're connected to them. So now you've heard all their trauma, you feel like you can help them. And so you feel sorry for them that they can't seem to get it together. And that maybe they just need a little bit of assistance. Maybe they need a bit of a woman's touch. But one thing I understand is that when you try and help a broken man, you may cut your fingers on the broken pieces. When you try and help a broken man, you may cut your fingers on the broken pieces. So you end up leaving that relationship worse than they are. Hurt people are going to hurt you. It's just it. Heal. Heal so you don't hurt people. Be with healed people. And emotionally unavailable men are going to make you feel like you're asking for too much, even if it's the bare minimum. They're like,
Please, be patient with me. You gotta be patient.
Dude, you're 35. You're 40 years old. You're 50. If you haven't got it together now, what are we doing? Obviously, like, people heal differently. But you don't need to be in a relationship if you're not emotionally available. Period. I'm never gonna back down on that. Spend some time by yourself and stop dragging people into your BS. I love what Rebecca said in our interview. If you haven't watched that, it's the last one. A man needs to be able to stand on his own 2 feet. Which means, yes, you've gone through a divorce. It's up to you to pick up those pieces and put them back together. It's not the job of your next partner. We're not here to heal each other. Can our love for each other heal them? Yes, but your healing is your responsibility. However you want to get healed, go and heal. And the last sign that you're dating someone that is emotionally unavailable, and this list is not extensive, I wanted to give you a rough gauge, and I'm sure you can potentially see yourself in the things that I've listed. But one of the signs that your relationship or your situation, whatever you're dating or whatever, is wobbly. There's not a strong foundation at all. The relationship is quite fragile. Like, there's nothing that anchors the relationship apart from jokes and going out to restaurants and company and sex. That's about it. Like, your relationship is not rich. It's actually a very poor relationship. It's actually a poor excuse for a relationship, if you can call it that. And you're gonna feel depleted when you're with someone that's not meeting you halfway, or meeting them 75, 80, 85, 95% of the way. It's always gonna feel poor. It's gonna feel unbalanced. It's gonna feel wobbly. It's gonna feel unjust. You're gonna feel like you're getting a short end of the stick. And in that situation, sis, don't settle. So these are some of the questions you need to ask yourself. Are you pouring more than he's pouring? When you really need him, is he there? When it's time for you to make a withdrawal, Does he have it to give? Does he have the capacity to genuinely care about you? When he's not physically in your presence, can you feel him? Do you still feel connected even though you're not together? When you're in a relationship, in a secure relationship, distance cannot destroy the bond that you have. You're feeling that person. You're thinking about them. You don't feel by yourself. You don't feel alone because you're emotionally connected. Here's another question. Are you pursuing him? Are you doing all the heavy lifting? Are you doing all the digging? Are you doing all the hard labor? One thing I know is an emotionally unavailable man will drain you of everything you have. An emotionally unavailable man will distract you from what you're supposed to be doing. He will drain you emotionally. And it's those same emotions that we need to function in this life, to get things done, to be producers, to create, to execute. We need emotional stability. An emotionally unavailable man, and what he's going to do is going to drain you and drain you and drain you and drain you and drain you until there's nothing left. And he's going to discard of you and he's going to find his next supply. So yeah, you guys may be thinking, it sounds like a narcissist. Emotionally unavailable men are narcissists. People that are not healed tend to be narcissists because they project their pain instead of dealing with it. So sis, are you settling for crumbs and acting like it's a full course meal? Are you trying to convince yourself that there's actually something left? There's actually something worth holding on to? Have you become accustomed to crumbs? Oh, that's a sermon right there. Have you become accustomed to crumbs? Oh,
Jesus!
Chalet. Are you more in love with the imagination of this person than the actual reality? Because here's the thing, right? In the beginning stage, it's always going to be wonderful. Butter won't melt. Everything is going to be so smooth. You're going to enjoy each other. You're going to be like, oh my God, maybe this is the right person for me. Maybe I've met my match. Everything's going to be wonderful. But also, the beginning stages of a relationship, it isn't really the time to gauge things, because if I look back on the last situation that I was in, I did not imagine getting so deep into that in the beginning, because before that wasn't like I was looking for anybody. When I met the person, I was calm. Like, you called me when you said you were gonna call me, and planning a date a week or 2 weeks in advance was no problem, right? When you first get to know someone, you're not asking for much. So the relationship seems to be easier. But when you start getting into a relationship, you start to expect certain things. You have expectations, and expectations are not wrong. As long as you communicate those expectations, having expectations are not wrong. The wrong comes in when that person's not able to meet those expectations and then blames you for having those expectations, when it's all they had to say is that I can't give you what you want. And an emotionally unavailable man is never going to be able to give you what you want and need and desire to feel safe in a relationship. And if you want to lose your mind, and if you want to be sent on an emotional roller coaster every single day, continue. Ignore everything I said. Like, ignore everything I said. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Never experienced an emotionally unavailable man in my life. Like, Breeny's talking rubbish. Like, if you like roller coasters, go along, as we would say. Go along then, right? If you like the roller coaster, you like the ride? You like the ride? Go on the ride then. Have fun. I don't know what accent that was, but anyway. If you really want to test if a person is emotionally unavailable, stop doing all the things that you're doing. And this is not about playing games. It's about really seeing what this relationship is made of. Stop doing the calling, the texting, the dropping by, the buying stuff, the making food, the bending over backwards. Stop bending over backwards for this guy and see if he's going to even bend for you. Let's see if he'll even dip, crouch for you. Stop bending over backwards, sis. You're going to hurt your back. But you're really going to see after you stop putting on all the work that he wasn't doing much at all. Like, he's not invested in this relationship. And it's a shame, but my concern and my care is for you, and that you stay sane. I want us to stay sane. Our mind is our most valuable possession. Once you lose your mind, you've lost everything. And these guys will drive you nuts. Nuts, guys. Nuts. Acting crazy, like, that's not me. I'm not that person. I don't do that. I'm not anxiously attached. I'm not overly emotional. But one thing I'll say is that the wrong person will bring out the worst in you. Oh, goodbye. I've said everything I have to say. Bye. Listen. The wrong person will bring out the absolute worst in you. And I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to make this video when, what show was it? Not Married at First Sight. Love is Blind. The Ultimatum. Hey, that show, boy. And I think I'm always so late that that by the time I finish watching the whole thing, it's too late to even talk about it. You guys have already talked about it already, but I'm gonna be a bit more on the ball. But yeah, the ultimatum, that show, red flags everywhere, and it just showed when you're the wrong person, they're gonna bring out the worst in you, right? When you're the right person brings out the best in you. So notice how you are in the presence of that person. You feel good and making you feel secure? Are you able to be successful and thrive because you have that emotional foundation of stability in your relationship? Are you able to go out on a girls' night? Are you able to go on a girls' trip without your man tripping or bugging out or going for your phone thinking that you're cheating? An insecure man is a dangerous man, and insecurity all comes into emotional unavailability, which comes into pain and hurt and trauma that is undealt with. We become toxic when we don't deal with our pain. When we give that responsibility to someone else, we become toxic. It's not fair and it's not right. It's not right, but it's okay. You're gonna make it anyway. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I am so excited for the videos that are coming. There's going to be content galore. As you can see, I am shining, I am glowing. I've got my mojo back, I've got my head back in the game, and I want you guys to get your head back in the game. Do not lose your head. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for 700k subscribers. What the heck? And I wrote on my Insta story yesterday, like, I don't want anyone saying to a million. I do not care about 1 million subscribers. I honestly don't care. So if it means 1 million people transforming the way that they think, praise the Lord, praise God. If it's 1 million women leveling up and knowing their worth, praise God. If it's 1 million women knowing their worth and adding tax, I'm all for it. But just to have 1 million subscribers, I could care less. 700k is perfectly fine for me. It doesn't mean anything to me, but the people that are like you, that are watching and supporting the channel. So I promise to give you my full self, okay? Next video, you'll understand exactly what we're talking about. Stop being distracted. You have a purpose in this life, and it's not to be distracted or to be demeaned by a person. Never ever settle. Know your worth and add inflation, because times are hard. And when times are hard, prices go up, they never come down. All right, guys, see you guys in my next video.